Welcome back, everyone, for this week's episode of our Smoky Mountain Wrestling Podcast. We continue the journey, and this is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode number 51 from January the 16th of 1993. We're still in Tim Horner's hometown of Morristown, Tennessee. I bet Tim Horner is still sulking over the fact that he ate a pin in front of his hometown folks last week. Doc, how you doing this week, man? You all right?
Super duper, pal.
All right. What about you, man? You hanging in there?
Well, hold on. I'm energized.
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling good.
Okay. Harper, what about you? You doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Yeah, same here,
Rock
man.
this shit out.
Yeah. Anything on the TV before we started recording? I mean, I know you got Golden Girls in earlier. No?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Just thought I'd check on you. See how it's going.
You didn't watch the A-Team this morning?
No. That comes on
I don't know.
in the morning?
He don't know. He's at work
Fuck.
in the mornings.
You got my fucking hopes up.
Bastard.
Fuck.
Shit. Well, I just want to say, long-time listener, before we get into the show, long-time listener of the show, Jeff Bob, sent me a note on Facebook, and Jeff said that, I know you guys like to joke and have fun, but up here in Hazard, people look at you like you're funny when you tell them you have a job. And he said he didn't have the exact numbers, but he thought around 60% of the population doesn't work. He then went on to send me a very lengthy email, which, Jeff, thank you very much for doing so, on the history of the area as far as maybe Hazard and that area of Kentucky. And all I can say about that email, I don't want to spend a lot of time reading it, but damn. And not that I disagree with it, but just the historical knowledge of that area was very impressive from Jeff, and I enjoyed reading it. And then shout out to Jeff. His father passed away recently from cancer. He's been a big supporter of the show for a very long time, and I thank you. He's a 5-star review type guy. So, Jeff, thank you, man, and you have our condolences. And what do you think about the 60% of the population that he mentioned, Doc?
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Y'all remember about 15 years ago, HBO did a documentary about the people up there?
The mountain folk?
Oh.
It was so fucking depressing.
Was it really?
Yeah, and I forgot what the fuck it's called, but I'm gonna look it up and maybe y'all could fucking watch it. I'm sure it's on fucking YouTube or something, but it's fucking depressing as fuck.
That is kind of, I mean, look, man, we poke fun, but Doc is pulling this information on the demographics, and the unemployment rate in some of these places they go to, it's so bad it's impressive.
And it's like documentary Cincinnati is like the promised land. That's where they got to get to. Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. So, okay. Let's keep it moving, man. We are still, like I said, we're in Morristown, Tennessee. We look forward to getting the name of that documentary from Harper so that we can send it to the greater folks in the Smoky Mountain Wrestling region. In the episode, we kick things off. Of course, we've got Dutch and Bob Caudle. Dutch's sign, you could not do on TV nowadays. It says,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, no, Bob is not gay. And we'll leave it at that. Bob Caudle tells us that we will crown the first Beat the Champ TV champ today. And then Dutch announces that he is now an honorary PhD. Doc, you got any thoughts before I play the promo with that actually plays at the very start of this episode?
I've done some research.
Okay. On?
Well,
goddamn, pal.
Dutch says that he had done some work with Douglas Stalker at the University of Delaware.
Okay.
Well, there's a real Douglas Stalker that teaches philosophy at the University of Delaware.
Well, you can't say Dutch was trying to lie.
No, this is interesting. So I went and looked this guy up, and he's, you don't get paid a lot when you're a professor. So, but you have time to do cool stuff. So apparently this guy, Douglas Stalker, who's a philosophy professor at the University of Delaware, on his website talks about his interest outside of, being a nerdy professor. And one of them was he actually attended wrestling training in Kentucky back in the day just to see what it was like, and worked a professional match in like either Kentucky or Tennessee at one point. So this is some back channel shout out with some truth to it that Dutch was actually doing here. So I kind of fell down that rabbit hole since there was no demographics to make fun of. That this is actually there's some legitimate truth to all this.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow. All right. I didn't expect that. I mean, I'm holy shit.
I thought the name Douglas Stalker was some kind of bullshit name. Like,
Yeah.
Stalker sounds bullshit, but I Googled it in. I Googled in like Douglas Stalker, University of Delaware, and I'll be damned. He's got like a website and he talks about his life and what he does outside of school. And one of them was like he's into like sports and stuff, but when he went through wrestling training or went to see what it was like.
I'll be damned.
Well, there you go, pal.
I'm impressed, Doc. Good job. Let's get back to Smoky Mountain. We got a promo here. Dirty White Boy and Ron Wright are on deck. And here it is. This is at the very top of the show. Before any match happens. This is, right, let me repeat. Dutch and Bob do their thing with the signs. And they talk about the new Beat the Champ title that's coming up today. As far as the match is going to happen. And then Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy roll on in. Here it is.
Championship, $1,000. One of the contestants is going to be this man right here, the Dirty White Boy, and here is his manager, Mr. Ron Wright.
You're out here talking about this tournament's going on for the TV title. I just don't want you're looking at the heavyweight champ. What can I say? Why would I want to have another title? But I tell you what I do want. Every time that you win out there, that's $1,000. So if I was to win $1,000 this week, I come back next week, I win another $1,000. That's what I'm after, not any other titles. I am the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion. What I want is the money.
Well, all right. Now, Mr. Wright, last week, let's bring this young man in right over here. This young man, Reno, last week you offered him what I know you considered was a fantastic proposition.
Listen, I offered that man the opportunity of his life. All he's got to do is kind of help me and the Dirty White Boy out, carry his bags, and see to it that I get my heart medicine, my arthritis medicine on time and stuff like that. We'll put him under our wing, train him, and things will come along. I guess you went ahead and accepted our offer down there I gave you last week, didn't you?
Well, let's don't rush things a bit here. I think that was a mighty generous offer that you've made me. I mean, nobody else has come up and offered me anything, but, beggars can't be choosy, so I'm not begging. But, there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now, and, not to upset you or anything, but could I have a little bit more time to think this over with?
How in the world can the man ask for more time? I'm the Ron Wright, the living legend, and the whole world of wrestling, and you want more time? Jesus.
All right. Yes, we're going to hear more about this, too, in the weeks to come, so stay tuned. We're going to be back. We're going to hear Down and Dirty with Dutch in just a moment. Let's take this time out.
He's upset. I can't get it together. Oh boy. Yeah, Doc, go ahead. You go first.
Well, we'll start from the back and work our way back to the top. Jesus, it was so natural. And that's like a cuss word in those parts of the world. So I imagine there was some blowback for him using the Lord's name in vain at that time on local TV, which is awesome if you think about it as well. My other notes, Reno's going to fool around and mess things up here. But on a serious note, when Dirty White Boy's out there, I love it. I don't want your stupid belt. I want the money. I'm not a mark. I'm here to get paid.
I had the exact same note with that one. With what he said. He's not worried about. So what about the belt? I'm already heavyweight champ. Yeah, that's fine, but I want the money from it, which is a good incentive. So
that's right.
That's good. Harper, I'll let you go, man. What'd you think?
I tell you, at the beginning, they showed this broad in the crowd.
Yes.
And she's so fucking fat. And she looks like Chet.
How fat was she?
She looked like Chet from Weird Science when she turns him into a pile of shit. God, this bitch was huge. And she's wearing a goddamn leopard's print top that just makes it even worse.
You need an
Ron Wright
elephant
just
gun.
cut.
You need an elephant gun to shoot that leopard.
God damn.
Ron Wright just cut a gem, and Harper's talking about the fat hog. And
But I did love, because I could tell you, if I was a kid watching this back then, I would be thinking, why does he want this title? He already has a title. Well, he explains it to you. Why?
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't fuck that title. I want the goddamn money.
Yeah, he
explains it to you.
Yep.
Because you would be thinking that. Why in the fuck does he want 2 goddamn titles? He's already the fucking world champion. Why does he want, which would be considered a smaller belt? And he explains it to you why, which was great.
I agree. I thought that was great, and obviously Ron. I'm just throwing this out there. In this episode, that's an early candidate. Ron Wright's an early candidate for Government Cheese Award of the Week. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna put that out there because he's so
natural.
He's so heartbroken at the end of that. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Okay. Well, we oh boy. Oh goodness, good old brother Ron. Hey, let me tell you, if you love that segment as much as we love it, pause the show right now and go give us a 5-star review on iTunes. That's how good that segment was. It'll make you pause it, catch your breath, go give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and we'd appreciate it. We need more. We're at 103 as of this recording, so we need a few more. Who knows? By the time this comes out, maybe the bonus show would have dropped and we've reached our 105, but we'll see. All right, we go from that segment to now it's Down and Dirty with Dutch. And Dutch throws us to a recap of last week when Horner was pinned by Orndorff in the tag match where Orndorff and the Dirty White Boy wrestled Horner and Garvin. I don't know. I think I mentioned it last week when we talked about the Christmas Chaos tag matches. Actually, I remember now. I did mention what happened. So here's the thing. They show that recap and they show everything that goes down. But then they throw us to now when I say the recap, they show us the recap of last week's tag match, and then now they're going to throw us to Down and Dirty. So here it is. It's Mr. Wonderful with Dutch Mantell.
Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, my special guest right here on Down and Dirty with Dutch, none other than Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and you people will shut up just a minute and give this man the respect he deserves. Thank you for appearing on my show, and I'm sure you have some good comments for the fans of Smoky Mountain.
First of all, Dutch, or shall I say, Dr. Dutch Mantell, I'd like to congratulate yourself and for that honor for stating. You know something? That shows me one thing. You're a lot smarter than these 8-to-5ers out here, these rednecks. But you know what I don't understand is this. What is all the fuss about Tim White Lightning Horner? You know, he came from a little rinky-dinky hillbilly town. Matter of fact, I even heard that he went to this, I guess you would call it a high school. You know, this looks like something down in the ghetto in New York City, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, all the people, they seem to want to rally around Tim Horner. Because, well, let's face it. Who from East Tennessee have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of anybody from East Tennessee? Not me. So I can understand why they rally around Tim Horner. I mean, these rednecks out here, they don't, you know, they really don't know what a true athlete is. Like Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful has been all over the world. International. Every time you turn on the TV, what do you see? You. Mr. Wonderful. I was just on WCW, and I just beat Ron Simmons. Exactly. WWF. What happened to Hulk Hogan?
He retired.
That's exactly right, on his back in a stretcher. But you see, Mr. Wonderful is everything. Mr. Wonderful is what everybody would like to be. Exactly. Exactly. I know they love me. And you know something else? Well, I'll tell you what. I want to ask this kid something.
Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Orndorff is calling a young gentleman out of the audience.
What's your name, son?
Chris Brown.
Chris, uh-huh. Well, who's your favorite wrestler? White who? White Lightning. You can't even talk right.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
White Lightning.
White Lightning. And why is he your favorite wrestler?
Because he should be the champion.
Should be the champion. Well, you know something, son? You just saw me beat Jim Horner right in the middle of the ring, fair and square. But let me tell you, I'm going to have a little talk with you. I want to have a talk with you, maybe like your daddy should. But, well, I don't guess we could use your daddy because he's always drunk all the time. And I understand that, son. I can understand why he's drunk all the time. I can see what of these people around here got to live for, but to drink. There's nothing around here. All the women look like hogs and got 4 legs. But anyway, besides that, I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why Mr. Wonderful and why you can change your mind now. Because, you know, it's like putting your money in the bank. You want your money to grow. You want your money to mean something. Jim Horner is no champion. Jim Horner ain't nothing but a little local hillbilly that the people rally around and they really think he's something. But see, nobody's ever came from around here, so I can understand that. But I'm going to give you a chance to get on the side of Mr. Wonderful, a true champion, a man that's been all over the world. And you know something? Hey, a lot of good things can happen if you just hang with Mr. Wonderful. And what is this? This a lightning bolt? Huh? How much did that cost? $3. I bet you had to save. I bet your daddy worked for a whole month to get $3, didn't he? Well, I'm going to tell you something. This here, $3 for something that really, you know, let's face it. This, I mean, you know, this White Lightning, this is what I think of White Lightning. I mean, this is a big joke. And
Horner didn't come out and attack Paul Orndorff, just so y'all know.
Wait a minute. We got a fight going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of it.
Turn it down. It ends with them, you know, in the ring. But they go off air with Orndorff running off and Horner in the ring. Doc, I'll throw it to you first.
There's one of 2 scenarios I envision for this several minutes of greatness. One is Orndorff comes in from Atlanta in a hurry and goes, "What do you want me to do out there? What do you want me to talk about?" And Corny goes, "Just go out there and tell the truth."
Yeah.
Or Orndorff goes, "What do you want me to talk about?" And Corny goes, "That fucking hillbilly son of a bitch just brought that kid out there to handle it. Go out there and bury everybody. Bury Horner, bury everybody." And Orndorff's like, "All right." That was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
You know, he comes out first. He's like, "I want to know what the fuss is about Tim Horner." Hey, you're not alone, Paul. We've been asking that shit for a year now on this show. We're right there. We're right there with Mr. Orndorff on that one.
When you find the answer, let us know.
Right. If anybody can come up with that answer, please send it to whatever it is you send things to Mild Mike. I love the fact that he talks about just being in WCW and beating Ron Simmons. That's awesome. Brings up Hulk. Love the acknowledgement of the fact that there's wrestling in other places. I don't have to recount it. You just heard it. He just destroyed that little kid. I loved it.
I agree.
Need to take notes. That was awesome. And while that was going on, I did a little inflation calculator on what a $3 lightning bolt would. What a waste of money that is. But $3 for a lightning bolt in 1993 would be $5.15 today.
Hopper, your thoughts?
He just spoke the truth.
Yeah, he did.
That little kid did sound fucking stupid. He sounded like some little fucking redneck kid, and he made fun of him. And he just spoke the truth about that whole fucking area. Those fucking women did fucking look like hogs.
Who's your favorite wrestler? White Lightning.
White Lightning.
What?
White Lightning.
Ah.
That
Oh,
fucking
man.
lightning bolt. Paid fucking $3 for a big sponge.
He told that kid he bet his dad saved money for a whole month to buy that $3 lightning bolt before he proceeded to ripping that bitch into pieces. That was so great. Oh boy, I loved it. We got another possible government cheese of the week with that one. It's 2 in a row. We're on a roll.
I don't
Okay.
want to give away. I don't want to give away the end, but Paul Orndorff has jumped into an early lead.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was some good stuff. Okay, Doc, thoughts on the local promo? Do we need to play it here or do we save it to the end? We don't have a lot of promos in this episode, just so you know.
Let me see here. Sure, why not?
It's Tracy, so yeah, let's play it. Remember, like I said, go check out the Thursday show, the flagship show, because Tracy Smothers was on it recently. So if you only listen to the Smoky Mountain show, but you want to get some great interviews from people like Ian Riccaboni, lead announcer from ROH, and now Tracy Smothers, they have been on the show the last few weeks. So check out the Thursday show. Download that. Same feed, tinyurl.com/bttpod. If you subscribe to this show, you'll get that other show. It's just a matter of making sure you download it. Again, Tracy Smothers has been on recently, so check it out. He tells a lot of good Smoky Mountain stories, a couple of ECW stories. He talks a little bit about Tim Horner as well. So here's the local promo, though, from this week's Smoky Mountain Wrestling episode.
13th at 8 p.m. Also, Smoky Mountain Wrestling coming to Jellicoe, Tennessee, Monday, February 8th at 7 p.m. 10 big matches in Jellicoe, all seats only $6. And Smoky Mountain Wrestling returns to Harlan, Kentucky at the Kaywood High School on Friday, February 12th at 8 p.m. You'll see Kevin Sullivan against primetime Brian Lee and the Dirty White Boy taking on this guy, the wild-eyed Southern boy Tracy Smothers in Harlan.
He sure is taking me on there, Brian, in Harlan, Kentucky, February 12th. The holiday season's over, White Boy. I can't think of a better way to start 1993 than Harlan, Kentucky at the Kaywood County High School. White Boy, you come out here running your mouth and saying that something about I'm from New York and that I should have a Union flag. Man, saying that's like calling the Grand Canyon a ditch, boy. You don't do those type of things. I'm a Southern-born, Southern-bred thoroughbred. Now, I know you're a tough wrestler because you wouldn't be, if you weren't, you wouldn't be the Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion. But, guys, I know you're rough, tough, and you're hard to bluff. But you got to remember, I'm guaranteed not to rust, bust, collect dust, bend breaker splinter. I'll see you in Harlan. I'll be on you like a duck on a June bug.
It's Smoky Mountain Wrestling in Harlan, February 12th. For the tag team titles, it's a return grudge match between the Rock and Roll Express and the Heavenly Bodies.
You know, brother, now we like Harlan there because Harlan's where we won these belts here back from Jim Cornette. So Jim Cornette, Harlan must be your worst nightmare. Right there, bring your boys on down there, boy. Me and brother do one more thing. Keep our belts.
That's right, Robert. But first of all, I'd thank all the fans for sticking behind the Rock and Roll Express because you never let us down. You knew that we was going to take these belts from the Heavenly Bodies with their manager, Jimmy Cornette. But now he wants a return match. But I got that feeling again, Robert, like it used to be with the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Somebody's always watching you. You know, you have to look over your shoulder all the time because you don't know where Jimmy Cornette's coming from. He gets wild and crazy over these belts right here because his name's not on top of the list. Well, right here in Harlan, one thing's going to be the same, Jimmy Cornette. We're going to come out the champions.
All right, fans.
Doc, you first.
I wonder what my view would be if you had Tracy Smothers give Tim Horner's promo and Tim Horner give Tracy Smothers promo. I bet you Smothers could still get it over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would. It's not even a question.
Horner says some real damn dumb shit though. Like, hop on, and if I get tired or you get tired, we'll stop and smoke a cigarette and then keep fucking or whatever it is he says. And my note about that, what got me thinking about that, was that my note is Tracy didn't say one thing we haven't heard already, but I loved every bit of it.
Because it's so corny, and the delivery from him is what makes it good, in my opinion.
Right.
Rust, bust, collect, duck. I mean, that's so stupid. It's good.
Born bred, thoroughbred.
Right. He said it. He said that before. But again, it boils down to that aw shucks. that he
But
exudes.
It is, but at any moment I wouldn't have like fallen out. I would have, but I wouldn't have fallen out of my chair if he said, and after the matches, we're going to bust out some guts.
Yeah, buddy.
And then rock and roll hasn't changed clothes in the last 7 days because they're wearing the same thing they wore last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell those were all cut at the same time. All right, we go from Tracy's promo. Once again, all shucks, golly gee, that's
he's so believable as that gimmick.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's all
him.
He's got something.
He's got it.
It's what I was gonna say. Is he's got something that Horner can't buy.
No,
it's natural charm and charisma.
Well, and then when you talk to Tracy not in that character, like, Harper has a bunch of times and I had the opportunity to do, he's got a personality that once you get him going, you could sit there and just listen to him, just talk about just whatever. It's hard to explain, but it's just, he knows what he's doing. He's out there. He's a worker. He's just working, and it's good. Because that promo was corny. If you not as in Cornette, it was just a corny, hokey, horseshit promo. But you listen to him, he's like, "Oh, that's pretty good. That was good. Thanks, Tracy. That was good." Yep. All right. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I just always do. Whatever. All right. So we're gonna get into a pretty lengthy match. I did want to mention one thing before we do that. I want to thank the patrons, all the patrons out there. If you are not a patron, go to tinyurl.com/bttpatron. Please sign up, support the show. It's a great way to support the show on an ongoing basis. You get the patron-only episodes. Shout out to the Hall of Famers at THOG94, at SV Pagem, at Martin Howell 71, at Tim Moretti, Codeman 822, at Unconvinced Ray. Thank you all at Godbold Unreal. Thank you all for being Hall of Famers. I apologize if I missed anyone. I'm doing this off the top of my head today because I don't have the note in front of me. But thank you anyway. Again, it's tinyurl.com/bttpatron. If you become a Hall of Famer, we will mention you on the show each and every week. I could not go through each and every patron now because there are too many to list on each and every episode. So I apologize if that offends you, but that's why I didn't list everyone's name. Thank you very much for being patrons, though. We appreciate it.
Just give us your money and don't expect anything. How about that? You get some shows. You don't need to have your name or your dumbass Twitter handle on the damn show. Just
Playing heel. No, Hall of Famers get their Twitter handle mentioned.
I just get.
How are they Hall of Famers?
Right.
What the fuck do they do to be goddamn Hall of Famers?
Right. They blow Mike on a virtual landscape, and he puts them in the Hall of Fame. It's like
they
WWE.
fucking tag them on Twitter. Like, oh look, fuck you.
Fucking stupid.
Y'all have really turned into a couple of great heels. I must say that. Y'all are really good. You guys turn it on when you're supposed to.
We're the stud stable of this operation, and we're both Robert Fuller, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to take your word on that. I don't pretend to want to know that to be a fact. And yeah. All right.
I think Harper said you're Tim Horner, and I think I agree with that.
You're like a black Tim Horner.
You're the Junkyard Horner. That's your new. That ought to be your character on the 605. Junkyard Horner.
Y'all done?
Oh, somebody's upset.
I'm just saying. Are you done?
However, he wants to no sell it, but he can't because he's got to keep the show moving. So
are y'all done?
Oh, listen to the voice.
I mean, I'm just asking. Y'all done yet?
We're still having fun.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. You are a black Tim Horner.
Catch me outside. How about that?
All right. Are y'all done? I'm serious. Are we done here? Because
somebody's feelings got hurt. We took a shit. We paid admission for his Hall of Fame, and we both went in there and took a shit in the floor.
Well, I got shit to do today.
Yeah, I say, baby's got a pot roast on.
All right, let's get back to this shit now, since y'all are, having so much fun trying to bury me. Fuck you both. How's that sound? Fuck you. Okay. We lead into now the biggest segment or biggest chunk of this week's episode, which is the first ever Beat the Champ TV title match. It features Tracy Smothers, Dirty White Boy, Jimmy Golden, and Killer Kyle. So we got a 4-way match or a 4-corner match for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Beat the Champ title. Basically what they're going to do is you'll have this match, and then the person who wins it will have the opportunity to defend the title for 4 straight weeks. If that person defends for 4 straight weeks after winning this match, then they'll have another 4-way match to crown a new champion. I think, as I've watched ahead, a very clever way to do things and make something each week seem really meaningful, because each week you will have a TV match, every single week. So, Tracy Smothers, again, Jimmy Golden, Killer Kyle, and Dirty White Boy. Kyle is eliminated pretty much instantly with the roll-up. Right, Doc?
Yeah, my thing here was, well, first of all, interesting setup. 3 heels, 1 face. Second of all, did you see
No, that's how you should do it.
Shut up. Did you see Smothers give the fan with Down syndrome a hug on the way to the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just,
White meat baby face.
Mm-hmm. People love him.
Yeah.
Right. And then my note here is Kyle got chumped. Because they've built Kyle up for weeks now and ended it in 6 seconds.
I don't think it hurt him.
Nah.
It happened so quick. I mean, it's bam, over.
Well, that's the first time in forever that we've seen him work, huh?
Yeah, I don't think it hurt him. I mean, it's just one of those things. It happens quick. He rolls out. Dude, Daniel Bryant lost on a WrestleMania in 20 seconds in a year or 2 after he was the champ. So I don't think that.
Well, I don't want to spoil things for you, but that's not going to happen with Killer Kyle.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know if that really hurt him at that point. Somebody's got to. Dude, you got fucking 4 people in there. 3 people are going to eat a pin. No comment. I know. All right.
Well,
so Kyle is eliminated instantly with a roll-up. Jimmy Golden is eliminated midway through the match. And then Tracy Smothers ends up pinning the Dirty White Boy in a surprise victory because the Dirty White Boy ate the pin, which, I mean, somebody's going to eat the pin because you can only have one person at the end. Doc, your thoughts on just, I guess, you already said your Killer Kyle thoughts, but everything else.
After Kyle, then when it's down to the 3, I thought there was lots of good psychology and strategy from the other 3. After sometime between when Smothers pinned Golden and when he pinned Dirty White Boy hit a hellacious DDT on Tracy Smothers that I popped for. And then at the end, the champ got pinned, and I don't like it, but I understand that that's the way they had to get out of there. And they just built Tracy. We've been waiting for Tracy to get an angle or something to do. They just built him up like I think Harper said this a couple of weeks ago. He's their Hulk Hogan. They just built him up like a Hulk Hogan, and he's huge now.
Well, what they do is so much different than what WWE does when they bring up somebody from NXT. I mean, you actually let them win and don't get defeated for a very long time. Tracy's been up now, or been in the promotion now for. I'm trying to remember what week he came in, but
it was right after Kevin Sullivan stabbed Brian Lee, huh?
I think I know it's 2 months, maybe 3 now.
I think this is 51. I think you're talking Smothers in 39.
Okay, so yeah, about 12 weeks, and he hadn't eaten a pin, and you build him up, and you make him strong, and that's how you book somebody to look like something, not 50-50 booking. He hasn't been on TV every week, 1 week taking a pin, 1 week, 1 week winning, 1 week taking a pin where he gets no momentum. He's got a lot of momentum, and they did it right, and now he's your first champ. And I think that's how it's supposed to be done. Harper, any thoughts on the match?
I was surprised when Dirty White Boy did the flying crossbody from the top rope.
He's a lot more agile than you think he is, I think.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion. Dirty White Boy to me, if I would, as I come into Smoky Mountain Wrestling and think about what I've seen over the last year, he's a lot better than I would have ever given him credit for, and it's only because of what they did with him in WWE. Just made him a buffoon.
Yeah.
So I agree, and I think that's part of it. You know, you just remember him too from WWE days. At least I don't know. You remember that, Harper, when he was?
Yes, of course.
So
when I first saw him, that's the first thing I was like, "Oh, that's the plumber."
Yeah, you're right. But then you watch him here, and he's so much better.
Yeah.
So I agree. I was surprised as well. Look, man. Again, he pins Dirty White Boy, which I don't know if I like the champ being pinned, but you had to get out of it some kind of way. And it may just be a one-time thing, or it should just be a one-time thing. So there it is. All right, we go from the match. Now Tracy is going to respond. He's going to cut a promo after the match, and here it is.
A heavy opposition came out on top. Now he's approaching our broadcast booth right now. So let's go right now to Bob Caudle standing by with the with Tracy Smothers.
Oh, what a great event right there. What a great match this man wrestled. Tracy Smothers, you went through 3 of the toughest opponents I think that any man has ever faced on one night, Tracy. You're our television champion, and along with that, $1,000, and you get an opportunity to pick up another $1,000 next week.
Oh, man, thank you, Mr. Caudle. Man, I've wrestled in every major star in this sport, and I'm going to tell you what, that's 3 of the toughest guys I've ever wrestled in my life. I think my ribs are cracked, I'm not sure, but good gosh, I'm just so glad to be $1,000 richer, and I'm more even glad to be the first television champion of Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
And I think also that right there you sent a message that you deserve a chance at that Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Championship title.
Yes, sir. As I said before, you know, I feel like I'm on that stairway to heaven. I'm on a mission, and I got to climb the great Smoky Mountain itself. I'll do it. You know, if I can defend this TV title 5 weeks in a row, then I get a $5,000 bonus, and that's what this sport's all about. And I'm going to tell you this, by the good grace of God and the support of the fans and all them millions of people right there on TV, this old Southern boy right here, 1993 will be the year that the South shall rise again.
What a great accomplishment, fans, for this young man, Tracy Smothers, now our television champion. We'll be back right after this.
That all shucks.
Yeah.
He thanked Bob Caudle for thank you, Bob Caudle. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Mr. Caudle.
Yeah, Mr. Caudle. Harper, your thoughts on the promo?
He's so perfect at his job. He puts over Caudle, and then he puts over his opponents. How you know, strong and fucking great they were. He's perfect as that face.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really add much more. You're right.
I got it. So, Tracy was wrong about something. The South isn't going to rise again in 1993.
Oh, yes, it is. It's going to rise right now, 2017.
Okay. The cracked ribs line is great. Getting even more sympathy. I won, but I'm going to get some sympathy. I'm thinking here, if we're just talking out loud, that we've got to be ready to put Tracy up with the Dirty White Boy. That pin we didn't like probably meant something, so you got to think Tracy is next after Horner gets done his program with the Dirty White Boy. Tracy talking about the money. That's what this sport is about. But here's the thing that I kind of want to talk to Cornette about. So get him on the horn, Mike.
Okay. You need to write these things down, man.
I probably do, but I don't have a pen or really.
You're sitting in front of a fucking computer.
That it's so far away I can't reach it. So, I'm across the room, wireless headset, dude. So,
what? No, you don't.
You heard.
You're full of bullshit.
So
no, you don't.
Cornette has talked a lot about. He really wanted Brad Armstrong to be his top face. And, you know, Brad Armstrong's a great in-ring performer, but couldn't talk. It seems like, I wonder in hindsight if he's like, it just feels like Tracy Smothers was better than even Brad Armstrong would have been in that role. I don't know. I can't envision another guy that would be more perfect to be the top babyface in Smoky Mountain Wrestling than Tracy Smothers, other than maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, I mean, he's so perfect for that territory.
Right.
Because when he comes out waving that fucking Confederate flag, it's like you're in Bizarro World.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. He's it. He's their Lord and fucking Savior.
I agree. It makes you wonder, what if he'd have been in... Because primetime Brian Lee was, there from the start. And obviously Tracy couldn't be there from the start for various reasons. But, yeah, you're right. He's just perfect for it.
And so I'm not saying that Corny's wrong. What I'm saying is I don't understand what Corny thought he could get out of Brad Armstrong that he's not getting out of Tracy Smothers right now.
Well, I don't know if it would have hurt to have Brad.
No. Let's have everybody. Shit, let's go get. That's great, but Armstrong was tied up. But I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
He's always said he wanted Armstrong.
Let me tell you something in hindsight too. Dixie Dynamite grew on me a lot. Has grown on me a lot in that gimmick for that area. Now that's not something you're going to sit there and do in WCW. On a national stage, but for a territory, I want to say something people think I'm nuts, but he, to me, throw Brian Lee out the equation and throw Tim Horner, who may want to stake claim to the 1 and 2 babyface behind some others. Like, I could give that to Dixie. Dixie was, it seemed corny at first, and we first saw it, and we're like, man, this shit is
very
stupid.
Fucking corny. When I first saw that shit, I was like, what the fuck is this? What?
Sparklers.
Fucking stupid.
Sparklers.
Yeah, it's Sparklers, and he's the fucking Dixie Dynamite and that shitty entrance music. I was like, what the fuck is this? But he's definitely fucking grown on me, too.
He grew on me.
I don't know that he can be number two. Ron Garvin is in this promotion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm saying for the region they're in, you have to consider him before you consider Horner or before you consider primetime Brian Lee. Because I'm making a crazy statement, but I'm just saying Dixie Dynamite, I have a better reaction to Dixie Dynamite than I do primetime Brian Lee as a babyface in Horner. That's my point.
Okay.
The only thing Dixie ever did that I think was real corny and I was down on when Scott Armstrong did this at the time was that promo early on with, well, I was at a birthday party and they say, Double D, did you, you're my favorite wrestler. And I asked him, well, who's your second? Who do you not like? Oh, we don't like that Jim Cornette. Like, that promo was kind of corny, and that was the one where Horner was like, want to see the fastest gun in the West? You want to see it again? And everybody goes, and they all start chuckling like they're at like some schoolgirls on a schoolyard or some shit. That was the only thing that like I can say was bad. But beyond that, man, the dude was like out there. He was over with the people. So, I don't know. We got sidetracked, but
I was trying to talk about Tracy Smothers, not Dixie Dynamite. I don't know what your problem is.
I'm just saying. Okay, let me ask you this: Dixie Dynamite or Tim Horner?
Oh, Dixie Dynamite. Come on.
Okay. There
yes.
There you go. All right. We got very sidetracked. My apologies. Doc got me on the roll, but I'm still gonna stand by the fact that Dixie Dynamite, aka Scott Armstrong, may have been the number 2 babyface. And we may not realize it. We may not want to credit it, but I think he was. At this point in time. Or maybe in the last couple months. So, with that said, we are going to go to a segment where it's Bob Caudle and Dutch, and they throw us to a backstage conflict. And basically, the Heavenly Bodies and the Stud Stable were booked for an interview at the same time. And so that's what I'm going to play right here.
Back at ringside, Dutch, let's talk a moment about the Stud Stable, the Heavenly Bodies, rock and roll, all three of them now. A very interesting situation developing. I don't really understand what happened between the Heavenly Bodies and the Stud Stable.
Well, first of all, they had an interview session. They were doing an interview, but both the Heavenly Bodies and the Stud Stable thought they were both supposed to do it at the same time, but it was a misunderstanding. But we have an altercation I think we need to look at.
All right, fans, and this occurred in the locker room. Let's see just what happened when this confrontation took place.
2-minute interview, Beckley.
Matthew, that's the best one yet. That's a nice suit. Who was it made for anyway, huh? What do you...
My suit.
Hey, Curtis, did you ask Santa to bring you some elevator shoes for Christmas or what, huh? Yeah? What is it, 2 minutes? All right, get out of the way. Let the master take over. I got it. Beckley, Jesus. Tom, tell Santa to put the girls back in the limousine. We'll mess with them later on, you know. What? I hate that stinking Beckley worse than anything. I have to go over there.
See the blonde?
Dan, don't, not now.
The blonde or brunette? Who you want? I like the brunette. You got him. I'm a brunette man myself. What is this, Beckley?
Yeah, it's Beckley.
Let's hurry up.
Is there only two?
We got to think. They're waiting on us. She's
2 minutes?
Hair down. Let's knock it out. Let's go. And she does too. I love her, man.
Well, get out of the way, shortstop, so that we can do something here.
Do this business and get out of the way. We got some dates, kid. Come on. We're waiting on the stud stable. We're supposed to be here for this.
Who?
The stud stable. This is ours. The stud stable.
Wait, you didn't say, hey, you didn't say nothing about the stud stable. We even do whatever you the stud stable. Just talk about it. Don't worry about the stud. Hey, nobody gives they got to say to begin with. Huh? What? Hey.
You know, nobody don't care anything about doing any interview with you either, you big man. What's your problem, man?
Let me tell you something. You better not come in here talking to us like that. We're champions.
Hey, you know something? You guys are afraid to do an interview with us. Not only that, you guys are afraid to get in the ring with us. You know, you better be the camera ain't on.
Hey, let me tell you something. The only thing that we're scared of is you and that furball friend of yours, Dutch Mantell, will have a heart attack. They shouldn't call you the stud stable. They ought to call you the over the hill gang.
Come on, come on. Hey,
All right, fans.
Doc, thoughts on what we saw there?
Did you see what Robert Fuller was wearing?
Yeah.
Bruh. That was the one note I had from
He
him.
had a Dallas Cowboys shirt on.
Well, not just that.
That's
He
what I
had the
focused
typical
on.
old man outfit.
The sweatpants.
The fucking grandpa sweatpants. The t-shirt. Fuck that cowboy shirt he had on. That's what I thought you were talking about. He was just like this old man who got interrupted, had to put his beard down and walk up to do the promo. That's what I caught.
Yeah.
Anything else, Doc?
Fuller's a Dallas Cowboys fan. I like the bleeps in here because it adds some like this shit's unhinged and it's off. You know, we're seeing behind the scenes and it's bleeped. I really need to see these teams just beat the piss out of each other. And are we getting ready to go to something with Corny and Bob, or did I miss it?
Yeah, we are. That's where my timestamp was messed up at.
Okay, because I have a note about Corny here in a second. What he talks about with Bob Armstrong.
Yeah, that's where my timestamp was messed up at. I didn't have the timestamp written down for the conflict.
Excuses
for the promo.
Jesus Christ.
So all that shit you heard where they were burying me, because I may not edit it out. It just depends on how I feel, how much time I got on my hands. I'm a busy man. I spend a lot of time editing this show. Doc and Harper just show up. So yeah, Corny cuts a promo or the Heavenly Bodies, I should say. So let's get to that right now.
And here with us right now, the Heavenly Bodies, and of course their manager Jim Cornette. And Jim, it looks to me like what was friends, that some things are coming between friends, and it could develop into a tough situation.
Let me just say this. First of all, I see your broadcast partner out here looks like Inspector Clouseau. He better take some messages back. Stud Stable, we don't appreciate people messing in our business. And to tell you the truth, we weren't never friends with them to begin with. We just said that trying to make them feel good, because the fact of the matter is, we consider people from Tennessee rednecks, whether they're Tennessee studs or swaybacks like these people out here. We want our belts. We want the Rock and Roll Express. They're so cowardly. The Rock and Roll Express, they're not even here today. They're saying they're off defending a title elsewhere. Well, they ought to be right here putting the belts up against the rightful champions. I'm sick of this Stud Stable trying to come out here, interfere with our title matches, trying to get on our nerves, trying to take our minds off what we're doing. And what is this now? Hey, I got to complain about this TV title thing I want to talk to you about.
Commissioner Bob Armstrong. Commissioner, Before we talk about complaints, just let me say right here and now that 2 weeks from right now, there will be a tag team championship match held right here on TV.
Well, good. All right.
We'll sign them right now.
Yeah, that's the contract.
Let me add this. The number one contender, the number one tag team contender will wrestle the Rock and Roll Express on TV for that title.
Well, that's us, right? That's us. We're number one contenders.
Well, maybe it is and maybe it's not. The stud stable may be the number one. That's up for me to decide. I've got 2 weeks to do it in. I'll decide. And while I'm on the subject, you heavenly bodies, you, Tom Pritchard, have been doing a lot of things with that boot. I've seen films on it. I'm going to launch a thorough investigation. And if I find anything wrong with that boot, brother, you're in a lot of trouble as well as you, Cornette, and the rest of the heavenly bodies. You better know I'm going to be keeping my eye on that foot.
Hey, who does he think he is? Mel Phillips or somebody keeping an eye on a man's foot? He's not. He's got a bad ankle. That's what the problem is.
He's the commissioner. He's the Smoky Mountain commissioner, and it's within the rules and the limits that he can do that.
You realize what he's trying to do, don't you, Tom?
I realize.
He's already setting us up. He's already setting us up for another ripoff.
It sounds like a conspiracy any way you want to cut it. Just because I've got a broken ankle, just because of the fact that Bob Armstrong wants to do everything he can to the heavenly bodies to make sure that we don't get another title shot. I can tell you this, we are the number one contenders, and we are the true champions of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You know, jealousy is running rampant here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Everybody's against us. You know, he and I are like two big, tough, stud Rottweiler dogs, and now we got these two mongrel, half-breed, lanky hound dogs named Golden and Fuller standing in our way, barking at us. Well, let me tell you, these little hound dogs something. Get out of our way, quit barking, because we're coming straight for the Rock and Roll Express. Whether Bob Armstrong, whether the rednecks here, or anybody like it, we're getting their belts back.
That's exactly right.
From Heavenly Bodies and Jim Cornette fans, we'll be right.
Stan means business. Doc, your thoughts?
Do you know who Mel Phillips is?
I have no fucking clue.
No, I don't know. I'm a fucking moron. I hate you.
Now you're calling Harper a moron because he says he doesn't know.
Now, fuck you.
I don't know. Who is he?
Mel Phillips was a WWF ring announcer that apparently had a foot fetish.
Oh, wow.
But he was also accused of molesting the ring crew back in the day as well.
Jesus Christ.
So Corny called Bob Armstrong Mel Phillips for wanting to look at Tom Pritchard's foot. Which, when you crack it open like that, is really, 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 really hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc, anything else?
I'm telling you, we need these teams getting it on right now.
Yeah. Harper, what about you? Anything?
I tell you, you didn't see stuff like this back then. Which is two fucking heel teams going at it.
And it's getting heated.
Yeah. It's getting real fucking heated.
Yeah, there's some animosity. There's some bad blood here between.
I love it.
I could tell you, if I was a little kid, like fucking 8 years old, sitting in fucking Knoxville or whatever, fucking watching this shit, this would have me fucking pulled in.
Yep.
Yeah. This is some good stuff, man. Cornette feels they're the number one contenders and not the stud stable. And Stan is on it. I thought Stan's part of the promo was, he killed me when he started talking about hound dogs. I don't know why, but that had me chuckling. Stan was on it. I really, really enjoyed this. And Cornette, I like when Cornette is a manager. I like when he's running his mouth, but I really like when his voice starts to raise. Like he starts getting all antsy, and that's what he's getting like that here because he's not happy with what's going on. So I to me that was a good part of it that people may miss. All right, Doc, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Harper, you?
Nope.
All right, everybody, if you're not doing so, tinyurl.com/BTC Amazon. Check it out. Support the show. It's a great way to support the show without spending anything extra. I had to throw that in there, man. Look, man, that's a great way to support the show without spending extra money. Oh, fuck the show? Okay, I'll replace you then. I hate you anyway. Okay, We go to the next match. It is Kevin Sullivan versus the Mongolian Stomper. I think they spent the first 2 minutes of the match on the outside of the ring. They finally get back into the ring, but then it spills right back to the outside pretty quickly. Let's be real. This isn't a match. It's a brawl. We finally, at the end, Sullivan throws a fireball at the Stomper, because fireballs in wrestling were the thing. Primetime Brian Lee comes out to help out the Stomper. But Primetime Brian Lee ends up getting the boots put to him by the Stomper the Night Stalker and Sullivan, not Stomper. Eventually, more babyfaces come out and help, and they go to commercial. Doc, your thoughts first.
Dude, you don't undersell the fireball. Those shit's always great. It's
fireballs and
visual.
Are great.
It's awesome. The other thing. I was surprised they actually got in the ring for a second. That's better than their last match. Stomper kept hitting Sullivan with the boot, which was no disqualification.
That's why I said it's not a wrestling match. It was just a brawl.
Kevin Sullivan stomped on his ribs at some point. Stomper's 50-something years old here. This is just wild ass because you got two guys that aren't there to scientifically wrestle.
Pretty much.
I like the wild assedness. It's a throwback to what I think the Sheik in Detroit would look like.
Harper, what about you? Anything?
Yeah, I love the fucking fireball.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a fucking fire, even though he kind of didn't get it all the way to his face.
No.
But the visual was still there.
Did you also notice that the Stomper headed to the back selling the fireball, and he's never involved at the end?
Yeah.
Because you just got hit for the fireball, dude. You need to be selling it. You need to be getting the shit out of there. So, I thought that was really, really good. I like that part of it on my end. So, anything else, Doc?
Yes, sir.
All right. Local promo with the Dirty White Boy. And as I'm playing this, I'm thinking about it. Was this a replay from the one last week, or is this a different one? What do your notes say? All right. Let's cue it up just real quick.
So Smoky Mountain Wrestling coming to Jellicoe High School in Jellicoe, Tennessee, Monday, February 8th at 7 p.m. 10 big matches, and all seats in Jellicoe are only $6. At Smoky Mountain Wrestling returns to Harlan's Kaywood High School on Friday, February 12th at 8 p.m. You will see Kevin Sullivan taking on Primetime Brian Lee, and the wild-eyed Southern Boy, Tracy Smothers, taking on the heavyweight champ, the Dirty White Boy.
Yeah, the Dirty White Boy is a real happy man. You're looking at the happiest man walking the face of the earth because Commissioner Bob Armstrong finally did his job. He finally did what was right, and that was return this belt to the man that is the true heavyweight champion. Now, Tracy Smothers, the wild-eyed Southern boy, let me ask you a question. What gives you the right, boy, to even step in the ring against a man of my caliber? Huh? Can you answer it? Ask people like Primetime Brian Lee, Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin, White Lightning Tim Horner. They couldn't get the job done. So therefore, I don't see you getting the job done. I see you in the ring.
It's Smoky Mountain Wrestling in Harlan at the Kaywood High School, a return match for the tag team titles. The Rock and Roll Express taking on the Heavenly Bodies, managed by Jim Cornette.
You know, two things happened the last time I was in Harlan, Kentucky, and made an impression on me. Number one, a guy came up and said, "Hey, Jim Cornette, I want you to meet my wife and my sister." Problem was, there was only one woman standing there. And the second thing is, the Rock and Roll Express stole our Smoky Mountain tag team title. That's right, we lost the belts in Harlan, Kentucky for the first time right before Thanksgiving Thunder. But if you people rev your little pea brains up a little bit, you'll realize something else happened. After that title change took place, we beat the Rock and Roll Express's brains out. We did everything but stick their toes in their ears and leave them for dead right there in the middle of the ring. And this time, we're coming back to do the only thing we didn't do last time, and that's take our belts back. Rock and Roll Express, your future is looking dim.
That was a great line. That was a great line from Cornette.
You know what Doc, I fucking love about his fucking promos is that he talks about these little shithead towns, and these people in these shithead towns are probably watching this thinking, this is the first time I've had my town being talked about on television, right? They're getting, oh, wow, Mama, listen, look, he's talking about us. And this is what he says.
Yeah, he's talking about you. He's shitting all over you. That's a good point, Harper. Oh, boy. Yeah, you got some. Yeah, that's true. Doc, anything from you?
The line at the beginning about the sister and the wife popped me. I like the idea that he talks about their pea brains. Revving up your pea brain was good. And he's just really on it right now. He's delivering great stuff. They are engaged in a two-front war, and he is rising to the challenge.
Yeah. I can't add anything to it. Very good. We go from that to Kevin Sullivan and the Night Stalker. And Sullivan and Night Stalker are cutting a promo, remember, after the wild melee that we just saw. So here it is.
Now you're ringside the Night Stalker to Master Kevin Sullivan.
Commissioner Bob Armstrong, let me tell you something. First, you sent the beast after us, the Mongolian Stomper. That didn't work. Next thing you did, Brian Lee came from a deathbed after us. That didn't work. You see, the Stomper and Brian Lee don't want to hurt us. They don't want to win. What they want to do is bury us. Bob Armstrong, my analyst told me that I have pent-up aggression. Bob Armstrong, you're paying for all the therapy that I'm going through. I'm not this type of person. But Bob Armstrong, the sins that we're going to commit, the Night Stalker, 6'10", he will destroy you. First of all, I know that name is a felony, Brian Lee. Stomper, what we're going to do in the ring, they can't lock us up like they did before. They can't shackle me up. They can't put me in that room again. Brian Lee, I tell you this, I swear on hell, Brian Lee, that you and the Stomper are going to be named one way or the other. Bob Armstrong, you made me
And we got a wild time going on here. Sullivan with a chair. Lee with an iron bar, and they both got Brian Lee now. Lee with a tape around those ribs of his as he's being double teamed.
I need to point something out. He literally goes after, Primetime Brian Lee goes after Night Stalker with an iron fucking pipe. At the end of that, when you hear everything go crazy. It's a legit pipe that he goes after him with. But before that, Doc, what were your thoughts on the promo?
He's just insane.
Yeah, he's nuts.
And it's great. I mean, it's insane watching him. It's insane when you don't have the visual and you're just listening to it here. He's conveying a very real picture that he's insane.
Yeah, he very much is.
And meanwhile, he's throwing fireballs and carving people up, cutting promos in the woods. I mean, it's just, what else do you want?
Yeah. This is crazy. Harper, what about you?
I tell you, he was swinging for the fences with that fucking pipe.
He sure was.
He got on his fucking ribs again. He needs to do something about that, man.
That pipe incident, Doc, you'll remember this. That reminded me of Impact from a couple years ago, where Drew Galloway at the time came in with that pipe and accidentally hit Low-Key in the back of the head with it, the edge of it.
Gashed him behind his ear.
God, and he was bleeding like a stuck pig. That's what that reminded me of for a second. That shit was unreal. And that's what I kept thinking. I was like, when he came through swinging that metal pipe, I'm like, oh shit, man. If you accidentally connect with that, you're going to do some damage. But he didn't, of course. But, they go off air. He never connects with the pipe. They go off air. Sullivan and Night Stalker get control of things, and they're pretty much putting the boots. Like Harper said, they're kicking him in the ribs again, his taped up ribs. The Stomper comes out to help Primetime Brian Lee, but then they proceed to, leave the scene, go off air, and they go off hot, and that was it. That was the end of the episode. Doc, anything else from the segment?
More wild ass.
Yeah, that was wild. Harper, what about you?
No.
Yeah, me either. Okay, let's do some disability checks. I'll go first. I'm giving this one an 8. I thought it may have settled. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to give this an 8.5. I thought at the very beginning, this show started so hot and on fire with everything that happened with the Ron Wright, Dirty White Boy promo. I mean, Ron Wright was on it, just so disgusted. Jesus Christ, Reno Riggins, you need to think, and he's almost in tears. And then, you got the Dirty White Boy and with Dutch and I'm sorry, you got the promo with the kid getting his fucking lightning bolt ripped open. I thought that was wonderful. Man, I just thought this was so good. So I don't know, man. This was some really, really good stuff here. So I went with 8.5. Doc, what you got?
Good show, man. And again, they can't all be 9s. But tell me that wasn't a fun 49 minutes of wrestling right there. Give me a 8.0.
Okay. Harper, what about you?
I'll give it a 9. We got to see fucking Tracy Smothers won his he keeps saying his TV title.
Yep.
And you got to see Ron Wright look as fucking real as an old Southern guy could fucking look.
Yeah.
And you saw Kevin Sullivan throw a goddamn fireball.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very high rating on this week's episode. Very high rating, very good episode. Which leaves us now the Government Cheese Award. I'm going to go first.
Lots of candidates.
Yeah, this is tough. This is really, really tough because there's so many. I got to go with Ron, and it's only because at the very beginning, he's just, he cannot believe that Reno Riggins hasn't accepted his offer at this point. And he's upset. Jesus Christ, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. I got to go with Ron, right? Ron was so on it here, so Ron is getting it. Doc, who's getting it from you?
It pains me to not give it to Paul Orndorff for making fun of children. But I'm going to give it to Tracy Smothers because he won some gold.
Okay. I mean, nobody's going to argue that, I don't think. Who are you giving it to, Harper?
It's got to be Ron Wright. It has to be.
It was so good.
Jesus,
it was so
you
good.
got to think about it. The fuck?
He was so upset. It's hard to put into words like what he's thinking about. Or the way he just said. I'm just like, come on, dude. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Give me a second.
Not to upset you or anything, but could I have a little bit more time to think this over with?
How in the world can the man ask for more time? I'm the Ron Wright, the living legend in the whole world, Horizon, and you want more time? Jesus.
Yes, we're going to hear more about this too in the weeks to come, so stay tuned. We're going to be back. We're going to hear Down and Dirty with Dutch in just a moment. But, there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now, and, not to upset you or anything, but could I have a little bit more time to think this over with?
How in the world can the man ask for more time? I'm the Ron Wright, the living legend in the whole world, Horizon, and you want more time? Jesus.
Yes, we're going to hear more about.
If you were smart and capable, so I realize this is a big if, and I'm probably just throwing this out there into the wind. You'd snip him saying Jesus and start playing that instead of that stupid "Cash Me Outside" bullshit.
Okay, I'll snip it. Yeah, that's a good one. Time to get that soundbite. Well, and here's the part that you don't see. When Reno Riggins first tells him he's going to pass on it, the look that he gives is like, he's in shock. You stupid son of a bitch. Why would you do that? Come on, man. He can't believe it. It's so great. It's so great. So, yeah, of course. Old brother Ron. So me and Harper gave it to Ron. Doc gave it to Tracy Smothers. There's no harm in that one. I would agree. So, all right. I just want to tell people, go to our Facebook page, like it, facebook.com/booking the territory. While you're there, click the Shop Now button. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tee store. Also, we've got tons of other T-shirts in the show links on our T Public store as well. So check that out. I'm adding new ones there daily. So please don't forget, again, check the links. And then we're on Twitter at BTT_podcast. I'm at Mike504Saints. Hardbody Hopper is at CJH Houdat. Check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing each and every week. Just search WPAN from your whatever way you get your podcast from, and check out the Kingpin, Brian Malonis, and Mike Crockett. They do some good work there. And other than that, give us a 5-star review. Thanks to Joe Stassi, Old School Pro Wrestling Lives. I think that's about it. We're going to get out of here. Doc, anything else?
No.
All right. Hopper, what about you?
No.
Done? All right, y'all. Hopper, hit the tagline and get us out of here, where we covered this week, January 16th of 1993 from Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Book it, bitch.